Are you sitting comfortably? Then I'll begin. So yesterday I was outside and I came to a ramp. I was coming back into the house and the ramp had water on it and I didn't notice it. And I slipped and I fell down and I hurt my back and my arm and stuff. And I had a hard time getting up, and then all the people here took good care of me. And I'm still alive. I'm doing pretty good. Sachi said that I should ground the, last time we were talking, he said I needed to ground the inner child, the sub-personality that had made me trip in the first place. So today I was doing that, and I found that it was quite difficult. So I did it once in one way, and then I came back to it, and I thought that I would use a time-lapse technique to, I could see myself as I just began to slip, and then I would go back one frame at a time. And one of those frames I couldn't see. It was like fog. And I felt like it was almost like an anesthetic too. Like I wasn't thinking for that instant. And then right after that as I slipped. So I circled that particular moment. And then I took it in, did the 7-step process on it. And while I was doing that, this gentleman showed up behind the 7 steps I was doing and said to me, I looked at him and I knew he was Lord Buddha. I know I'd never met him before, but it was just obvious. I looked at him and I said, well, Lord Buddha, hello. And he said, I can see you're working very hard. Could you use some help? So I said, absolutely yes, please. So what happened was, I'd been working on this for a while, and Lord Buddha just reached down and took this reddish colored person-shaped thing out of the place where he was, and he just passed him through his aura, and the man went from being red to being white. He looked pure. And he said to him something like, we all love you. You're going to be fine now. And then he just let him go up to heaven. And then he said to me, well, what should we do next? I said, but should we do another one? And he said, yeah, let's do another one. So I had another situation with a motorcycle, a small motorcycle accident, where I didn't get hurt much, neither did the motorcycle, but it was difficult getting the motorcycle off my foot because it weighs 900 pounds and there was nobody around to help. So I did the same time-lapse technique, and I found a spot where there was another gap in my focus or consciousness. And I circled that again and laid out the 7 steps, and Lord Buddha just plucked out this much smaller guy this time. He was red too, though. And again, he kind of massaged him a little bit. And then he became purified, and Lord Buddha said, you're going to be fine now, and sent him up. So then he said, okay, one more, I'll do one more. So I said, well, I'd really like to deal with my relationship with my father and my sister. He said, I can see you can't count. That's 2. So I said, oh, okay. Well, Ganesha had given me this technique to use to look for all of the sub-personalities that I had. So and at least that would bring up some of them. So I asked if we could do that, and he said, well, again, we're over the limit. But he said, we'll do something different. So he went behind me, and he shone light down my spine to start with. And it came out in, like, it seemed to be all different colors, and I think those colors vibrated at different frequencies in order to, do whatever they did at my end. And then he went way up high and way down low to the center of the earth and farther in order to clean my whole antakarana. And then he said, well, okay, I'm going to go now, but he said, I didn't take any of your inner children or sub-personalities away, but you'll find it easier to find them, much easier to find them, and much easier to get rid of them now. And then he left.
Yeah, very good.
So, would you like to tell them what you think the Buddha was doing, or at least what I told you the Buddha was doing?
So Sachi and I were sitting in the pool, and he explained to me that the Buddha was giving me a power, this power that he said specifically that he was giving me, that I would be able to find them easier, much easier, he said, and get rid of them much easier. And that was a huge gift for me, because I feel I have quite a few to get to still. So that was just, and it was a huge gift simply to be in his presence.
But why do you think he gave you that gift?
Oh, I think because I'd hurt myself, and because even though I kept working hard to resolve that situation and why it happened. And so
but what could you have done? What was the opposite of what you did do?
I could have given up, I guess, or gotten mad or something.
A test.
Oh, I see. So, yeah, so Sachi said it was a test, and that there are many tests as you go, and this is just one that, I fortunately passed.
Good. Very good, Lawrence.
Because, turn it towards me, can you, Ryan?
Hmm?
Because we are constantly tested. And when people get tested, sometimes they fail the test. Something provokes them. You fall down a ramp, you land on your tootsie, and you feel as though your spine has been cracked into 10 places. And upon that, the person who fails gets angry and mad, gets on the nearest jet and goes home. That's failing the test. But what did Lawrence do? Lawrence went back into meditation. He took my advice. He worked on finding the subpersonality that wanted him to fail the test. He worked. How long did you work for, Lawrence, on that? Before the Buddha turned up?
Oh, about 6 hours.
Yeah, Lawrence worked on it for 6 hours. He didn't say that, did he? He worked on it for 6 hours with a broken back, aching in pain, trying to find this subpersonality that wanted him to fail. And he couldn't do it. When you walk 100 steps, you find out that God has been carrying you those 100 steps. Don't be stupid. Depend on a miracle. When you struggle, when you try to do the right thing, and it just doesn't seem as though it's happening, when you have passed the test in life, when you have passed the test, you find that Jesus, the Buddha, Ramana Maharshi do not give power away lightly. You have to pass the test 10,000 times to do the right thing. And when you do the right thing, it proves a certain opening of the heart. You know, we've got intellect, we've got willpower, and we've got people without hearts who are called psychopaths. But when you start to open the heart of Christ just a little bit, when you cannot go back, what's the word? Recalcitrant?
I think it's recalcitrant.
I think it's recalcitrant, but there's a noun for it, not a verb. Anyway, you can't go back. When you have proved that you're not going to go back and you're not going to be bad, that you've taken that step forward and you can only be good at this point in time, because there are many tests. At this moment, some power comes down from heaven and touches you and gives you the energy to do that which you need to do, because you can't do anything by yourself. You might seem as though you do, but in reality, only God can give you these gifts. And when the Buddha said, he didn't come down to take out a little subpersonality and another subpersonality there, Lawrence told me when he put this light along his spine, 1,000 subpersonalities and inner children came out. This is not the point. When you've been given the power to remove those energies easily, you don't need the Buddha to remove them, because you can remove them yourself. But you need to have been given something to enable you to do that. These are not techniques. These are initiations. When you pass the test, after years and years of hard work, because this was just the final test, then you get put into a position which you cannot fall from. You've used all the ladders. You've got up to a high place. Now you can throw away all the ladders. You're there. And there are many more initiations to come.